So apparently we are gonna get a look at all of the tail cards. It's an origin sneak peek. Now, for those of you that don't know, a lot of you may already know, but for those that do not, understand that Axie Infinity is about to change tremendously. We have been in a very alpha stage of the game for a while. Even though the game is as popular as it is, a lot is going to change. So these sneak peeks are our first looks into the gameplay aspect of Axie Origins. The competitive scene is going to be transferring from Battles V2, where it is now, to Axie Origins. So it's going to be interesting to see the new cards, potentially theory craft on some builds that you could put together. I don't know if you can do that from just the tails, to be honest, but thinking about what tails are going to be viable and what we're looking at as a whole for the game, because we know the mechanics are about to change. So this is huge information. Let's jump right into the video. So on first open, we can see we get this nice image, which I believe is Tiny Dino. We'll find out in a second. But Tiny Dino is one of the tail cards that's already in the game. An amazing card that's been used on one of the best builds that you can have right now. That pesky Reptile in the backline. Artwork looks amazing from this. Hopefully we'll see some more as we scroll down. But let's read the intro. They've got something to say for us, so we may as well read off what they have. And here we are. Oh, we're starting with Reptile, by the way. I can see that. I'm going to pause because I can see some values. I'm going to pause. This is my first time looking at the cards. I wanted an authentic reaction, so let's actually... let me get ready for this. Right. Leading up to the launch of Origin, we'll be releasing sneak peeks of the cards to the community. You'll notice that many of the cards are reminiscent of their current versions with a fresh twist for Origin. Please note that cards are dynamic and will change over time based on feedback from the community and data we collect around relative power. Do not make financial decisions based on these teasers. They are meant to serve as a taste of what's to come in Origin and allow you to start theory crafting. Without further ado, here are the tail cards. Alright, so, hey, like every fucking great video, let me state right now that this is not financial advice. Alright, so we're starting with the Reptile cards. I'm going to quick fire these because we don't have time to waste. You guys have got to build your fucking Web3 spaces. I got to get on with my day. So let's get through this. So before we get started, let's do some identification so that we can understand what these cards are saying to us before we start reading them all off. I believe this is the energy cost of the card in this blue circle right here. So 1 would mean 1 energy to play this card. This right here, I believe, is the damage value. You can see there's a sword behind that. And obviously 60 would be the damage value of Woolgecko, the card. There is no shield value here. And obviously from the cards we can see right now, they're all attack cards. We don't have shield as well as attack. So maybe that's a consistency. We'll see as we go through the list. Again, this signifies what type of card it is. These are attack cards. This card, as you can see, has a different sub... whatever this is, fucking next to attack. It says retain, right? So it means that this is a different type of card. These are just attack cards. This is an attack and retain card. Again, we're gonna bump into a lot of things that we might not know just because the game is about to change. So let's jump right into it and go through all of these cards as swiftly as possible, but taking in as well, you know, the severities of the game is changing right now. These are brand new abilities, bro. Let's go. All right, so the first card that we have today is Woolgecko. Woolgecko, a great card currently in V2, but this time we can see it has 60 damage. It's a 1 energy cost, and this Axie will lose 50 HP when they play this card, but they will also get the ability to take 30% less damage for the next 4 turns. Fucking amazing. The next card, Iguana. 1 energy cost, 70 damage. Pretty consistent. Normal in V2 right now. I wouldn't say it's a special card by any means, but decent damage and a Reptile. Maybe you boost some shields with the body type value. But that's about it with Iguana. But let's look at this card. It says here you will apply weak for 4 turns. You make the opponent weak. So, top tier. Put it up there already. S tier shit. The next card that we have is Tiny Dino, and this card has been amazing in V2 right now. It's heavy meta, you know, reflectiles are everywhere. A great card. And this Axie Origins, it looks like we're going to get a 1 energy cost again, 60 base damage. It is also an attack and retain card, and the retain effect works like this. This card will gain 15 bonus damage per turn that it is held in your hand. There is a maximum of 4 turns of bonus damage, meaning you can increase the base damage of 60 to 120 after 4 turns of holding that card. This is going to be amazing in use with card draw strategy. If you get this card in your hand early, you know you're going to have 120 damage card later in the game. And you also can measure it in between those 1 to 4 turns, adding the bonus damage anyway. So it's happy days, basically. Tiny Dino users, you are still going to be able to sit in the back looking pretty and then swoop in and just fuck everything up, right? Have fun. Card number 4 today is Snake Jar, and this is probably one of the most interesting changes so far. You can see that it is 1 energy cost, but we do not have an attack value, nor do we see any shield value either. The ability works like this though. You will get to target any ally on your team and negate the next HP loss against that target for 90 HP. Now the wording is interesting in this ability because it says negate the next HP loss, which means it's not just negating an attack, it's not adding a shield, it's negating HP loss. So even this on top of another Axie using a card that decreases or costs HP, quite similar to what we see in Wool Gecko, maybe this negates it. So if you have a Reptile team with a Snake Jar in the back and a Wool Gecko in the front, you are now able to get that free damage resistance for the next 4 turns without losing any HP. Seems like a win. The 5th card that we have today is Gila, or I guess Gila. That's how I'm gonna say it. That's how I'm gonna fucking say it. Gila, right? Currently, you know, it's used, I guess. It's a decent card. It has great attack value and great shield. I don't see it that much in the arena, let me be honest. But it's interesting to see this is our first 2 energy cost card and actually has a base damage of 40. It is just an attack card and it actually attacks all enemies. So we can see now that we are seeing different types of attacking cards with spread damage now attacking all enemies on the field. You'll actually deal 2 bonus damage per poison stack on that energy, right? So when it says 2 bonus damage, I don't actually know the figures or the calculation of what bonus damage actually equals. How effective this will be is important. Let's be honest, a 40 base damage card that has the ability to have stacked damage on top of that attacks the entire team. On top of those Axies need to be poisoned for that. If your entire team is poisoned and your entire team is being attacked, your entire team is losing HP quite rapidly. So it seems like this could be a very, very useful card, and our toxic lovers are gonna be toxic as fuck with Gila. So welcome to the show, Gila. You're a bit more of a main stage, I feel, in Origins, but we will see. We will see. Now, the final Reptile card that we have today is Grass Snake, and this one has... This one is special right here. If we can see right, look, it is no longer a 0 cost card, but it is now a 70 base damage card, which in consideration to the rest of the Reptile cards is pretty fucking good. It is pretty fucking good. And it also has an ability of applying Hex for 4 turns. Hex is yet to have been really discussed with us in terms of what it is and its effects. It's something that we will learn as we get closer to the release of Origin. So I can't get too excited about that, but I can be subtly happy about some of my Axies that have Grass Snake that can now maybe do a bit more damage and, you know, maybe a bit more value, not financial advice. So the next body type that we're going to take a look at today is Bug. And what we can actually see when we first get on here is we're seeing now blue values here, and what I can make out behind that number is a shield. So we can clearly define now that we have attack cards and then shield cards. The shield cards tend to have something other than saying shield here. You can see this is skill, this is secret, and so on and so forth. So let's take a look at these. The first card being Ant. Now Ant in V2 is a decent card. There's high shield value there, and if you use it right and on the right axes, with the right comp, you can utilize the stench ability that it does drop on the opponent. That's going to be completely different here in Origins. The ability is actually to apply taunt to this Axie for 4 turns. Now, I don't know what taunt is. If I was to take a guess at the artwork, you can see this kind of mist that surrounds the Axie right here, and these red eyes almost to say they are surrounding him because they are after the stench almost of this ant tail. So maybe you are drawing in opponents to attack that specific Axie and protecting another Axie. Something that could be, you know, pretty fucking cool, mate. Pretty fucking cool. Bug card number 2 is Twin Tail. Speaking of 2, there's 2 of them. Bam, bosh, bish. Does what it says on the tin. It deals 2 hits of a base 35 damage. It is a 1 energy card. And, you know, I'm pretty happy about that. I got some Twin Tails in there. You know, I play poison comps. I tried to get a god mech when it was godly. And there's Twin Tails in the inventory, mate. So I'm happy. Thank you. Jiho, sound one on that one. Good job. The third bug card today is Fish Snack. Now, Fish Snack is an amazing card in the current meta. You know, the ability to stun Aqua and Bird attacks is fucking, you know, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing, right? Especially when you're a bug and you're weak to that. So, amazing utility. In Origins, it's actually going to be a 1 energy cost again. And having 60 shield value. No damage this time with Fish Snack. The ability works like this. You target an ally, and the next turn after the target is attacked, you apply weak to the attacker for the next 4 turns. Again, we don't know what weak is as of yet, but again, this is an almost you know, punishing the opponent for attacking an outplay that you can work around. So it's interesting. Fish Snack did keep some of its origins of being an outplay almost. How useful this will be, don't yet know, because we don't know how weak the weak makes the weak. How weak are we? I don't know. We'll find out. Moving on to the 4th card, I believe. Yes, the 4th bug card today is Gravelant. I love Gravelant. Great card right now. The ability to, you know, just cancel all melee attacks is phenomenal. You'll be surprised how amazing it is. Pairing it with Scaly Spoon is beautiful as well. But in Origins, it's going to work differently. It's a 1 energy cost card, and it has 60 shield value. The ability works like this. You will target an ally. The next turn after the target is attacked, you'll apply fear to the attacker for 4 turns. Now, if fear works the same way it has in V2, it's just going to make people miss moves, which is always a bonus. Pretty similar to like disabling cards. Instead, you're actually just making them miss those cards or not be able to play cards, which could be really, you know, crucial in a game that's going to be a lot faster pace than we've seen. So interesting card. I'm gonna be there for Gravelant, mate, because I've got Gravelants in the inventory. I've got everything in the shut up. Next card. So the 5th card today is Pupae. And look at the little widgety grub geezer going on here in the artwork. I must say I have been loving all of the artwork so far, but this guy right here, just look at him, man. I feel like they played with Pupae and Bebe, I guess. Maybe that's just me in my own happy world. So Pupae works like this. It's a 1 energy cost card. It gives you 60 shield value, and its ability goes like this. You will target an ally. The next turn after the target is attacked, it gains 2 damage boost. Sounds great. I get to boost the attack of someone that's going to get hit as long as I play correctly, so that that attacker will survive and get the boost for the next turns. Amazing. It seems like a lot of these bug cards in the tail anyway are very like setup cards, so we might see a lot of utility with bugs in that fashion. Now the final bug card today, my favorite bug card, Thorny Caterpillar. You know, as much as I hate Termies, this card is great. 2 energy cost this time, but 110 base damage, which is really high. I think it's the highest we've seen so far. And if you look at the ability here, you deal 50% more damage against debuffed enemies. So it stayed true to what it already is. Great card. I feel like it's still going to be one of the best bugtails for an attack that you can have in the game. Reign, Thorny Caterpillar, stay on your throne, thy mighty. Let's move on to the next body type. So the first bird card that we have today is Swallow. It remained true to its card in V2, doing extra damage, dealing 15 more damage to be precise, if it is initial, meaning if it attacks first or it's the first card that you play in the sequence of whatever you're playing. It gains that bonus damage. 70 is the base, a nice 85 if you deal it first. Decent card. I think it will remain true to what it already is. And decent utility, and a nice card to throw in there as well for the faster Axies. Card number 2 for the birds, we actually have Feather Fan. Feather Fan's a funny card, it's changed quite a bit. This one shocked me, to be honest. 2 energy cost, but 35 base damage, which meant the ability has to have some real value. Reading into it though, it says that we randomly deal 4 hits. Now, that must mean 35 damage, like just anywhere, bro. Like, just open up the floodgates. Like, 4 hits are coming anywhere to anyone. Anyone can get this smoke. I am actually a fan of Feather Fan. Right, so randomly dealing 4 hits, your team gains 1 feather per enemy hit. I don't know how valuable feathers will be, or, you know, we don't know yet. But the rest of the cards sounds fucking amazing. So, solid job on Feather Fan. The third bird card today is again a 1 energy cost, 70 base damage, pretty similar to Swallow, but it's the last one, right? Deal 20 more damage if this is the only card in your hand. I guess if you like to spam cards, you won't like the last one, right? The last one, it's better than getting an attack minus. Let's put it that way. That's how I'm gonna summarize it. It's better because you don't get the minus. Now, the fourth bird card today is Cloud. Cloud had a little boost the last time we had balancing. Great shield, great attack. The ability was to skip last stand opponents, and it's just like, when the fuck do I need that? Probably didn't, probably don't. It's gone, so you're welcome, right? It's a 1 energy cost card, 70 base damage, again similar to other bird cards, and this attack targets the frontmost non-summoned enemy. So this now is great utility, because this is telling me that there's going to be more than just Axies on the battlefield. That's huge. That is huge, right? So summoned enemy. What can I not say that word? Non-summoned enemies, right? I don't know. We've seen screenshots of certain things. I could guess that these things are going to be those summoned enemies. I don't know. I'm reading too far into it. I really don't know, but it might be useful. If it's not, it's got decent attack. Fair play. Fifth bird card today is Grandma's Fan. Now, Grandma's Fan is a 1 energy cost card with base 25 damage. It actually is an attack and innate card. You can see right here we have the innate symbol. Innate, I don't actually know what it means. So good job, C's. You informed the people. I'm sorry, I don't know. But you're attacking all enemies and you're applying vulnerable for the next 4 turns. You want to know something else, guys? I don't know what vulnerable is either, but I feel vulnerable right now trying to explain it. So I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe. So the final bird card, everyone's favorite, maybe mine, post fight. The 0 cost card that used to do a ton of damage. You would take a bit of damage yourself, though. 1/3 of your damage, or 1/3 of your health, sorry. 1/3 of your max HP, I think. It was around 90 anyway. You used to have to calculate that shit, and it was fun to do that and survive, or sometimes just kamikaze. But enough about me. This is going to remain true to what it was, apart from the fact that it's not 0 cost. It's actually a 1 energy cost card, 100 base damage, and this Axie loses 35 HP. So maybe thinking about Snake Jar here, you could use Snake Jar to protect the post-fight damage and actually lose no damage with just getting 100 damage off for free. Not for free, for 1 energy, mate. There you go. Cheers. It's time to release the Beasts, family, the Beast Tail cards. Let's start off with the first 0 cost we've seen today, and actually seeing another symbol. It's a green symbol, and it looks to me to be a healing symbol. Now, reading further into the card, you can see that it is heal any ally. You can choose anyone on the team to heal. I believe the number at the top is actually going to be a value of heal. So you will heal at the value of 25. You also gain 1 energy, and then it signifies banish underneath that. And it's also got a banish note here. What that means, hey, I'm trying my hardest. I don't know, right? I don't know. But Cottontail, beautiful looking card. Look at that sheep. Look at him. Is it a sheep? It's an innocent lamb, right? It's just an innocent lamb. Just let it silence of the lambs. So the second card that we have in the beast category is Rice. And Rice is going to be pretty similar, except we're not stealing energy this time. We're going to be stealing HP. So we actually get a nice heal effect with Rice now, and we gain an energy also, but only if the HP is full. So if you're below a certain HP point, or if you're just not full HP, you're not going to get the energy. That's why stealing the 40 HP might help you get to full HP to steal the energy. It's a 1 energy cost, and there's no damage value, no shield value either. So will it be useful early game? Yes, of course. You're going to get some energies in there, but you're going to have to work around that. It becomes almost a dead card when you've been attacked. So they kind of sliced Rice, let me be honest. The third card that we're looking at today is Sheba. Look at Sheba's damage. 130 base damage, 2 energy cost. Fuck me. That is going to be one of the big hitters of the game. On the tail, at least. It's our biggest tail damage right now. The ability works like this. Your team gains 3 rage if this Axie's HP is below 50%. How rage is going to work, again, I don't know. I'm sorry. But it's going to be phenomenal. There you go. Analysis done. The fourth card in the beast category is Hair. And we know Hair Dagger was a great card. You know, you get to draw that card if it's initial. It's amazing, mate. It works on birds, works on those faster Axies, but it's also a decent damage card for mechs as well. What we're going to do here is actually keep the 1 energy cost, but we actually have a base damage of 70 now, and it still keeps the same ability, being if it's the initial card, you draw 1 card. I do think this is going to be initial being the first card that you play, because we're not going to have speed involved anymore. It's going to be simultaneous turns. So you just have to put this as the first card in the sequence, and you're good to go. How this will work in the grand scheme of things, there might be ways to stop players from being able to play this as the initial card, or putting them in a state that they'll miss the initial, so they won't get that card draw. So those things are going to be huge. Again, it's just a nice card. It's just a great card. Now the 5th card for the beasts is Nutcracker. It's 1 energy cost and has base 60 damage. It gains 6 damage for each Nutcracker card that this Axie has. Right, so all Nutcracker cards of this Axie gain 6 damage this battle. You can now have Nutcracker on the tail, the mouth, and the ears. So that's 3 cards, and then if we're having 2 cards in a deck, that is 6 cards. Right, so 6 times 6, 36 on top of the base 60. You potentially are looking at 96 damage from this card at that point. Which is huge, because if you think about that, if the other cards have the exact same effect, you now have 3 cards that are doing 90 damage each, which means you can do over 200 damage easily each turn with the right amount of energy. So Nutcracker might be extremely viable in that 3 set, and on its own probably completely useless. So keep that in mind when looking at Nutcrackers in the future. The last card for the beasts, Gerbil. Now a card that just goes completely missing in V2, to be honest. It's a 1 energy cost card, but it now has 70 base damage. Again, it's saying if initial, this attack targets the second frontmost enemy, so the midline, and it has to be initial. So similar to, I do think it is the playing of the card first, but that's very interesting, keeps people on their toes, and also adds a lot of, I think retargeting is always an amazing thing in turn-based strategy. So Gerbil, welcome to the show. You will finally be not a piece of shit. Now we are with the fish, and the first card in the fish section is the Koi. 2 energy cost and a base of 120 damage. So you're going to be one of the forefront Aqua cards that you're looking for damage dealing. It actually deals 15 bonus damage per aquatic ally. So if you have a double Aqua team, you're actually going to be doing 135. So that's pretty nice. If you go ahead and triple it up, you're actually doing 150 damage, which is huge. And if all of those Axies have the koi on the tail. That's a lot of damage that you can rain down on the opponent. The second Aqua card is Nemo, a beautiful card that we all know and love. This is actually staying as a 0 cost, no shield value, no attack value, but you draw 1 card and you gain 1 energy. After using that card, I believe the card is banished. Pretty decent, mate. Nemo, just stay with us forever. Look how happy that Nemo look how happy he looks, mate. That's how happy I am to see you, Nemo. Now the third Aqua card today is Tadpole. Not massively used in the current meta, but what we can see with this card is it one energy cost, sorry, and 65 base damage. Right, we're actually going to get the ability to shuffle 1 Jinx into your opponent's discard pile. I don't know how that's going to affect the game as of right now. We need to learn a bit more about Origins when it comes to discard pile, because we don't know the utilities of it yet and the fundamentals of the actual play style as such. So I'm looking forward to being able to get hands-on with things as we get closer to Origin. The next card is Ranchu, 2 energy cost, and it actually has a base damage of 50, but this attacks all enemies on the field and applies weak for 2 turns. If I'm being honest, 50 damage on all 3 of the Axies, I'll take it. I'll take that every day of the week. So Ranchu has now got a bit more viability than it currently had. You know, it was a bit of a meh card. Let's be honest, guys. It was. The 5th Aqua card today is Navaga. And Navaga was always going to be one of those cards that might have been the initial, after me seeing other cards like Hair remaining as, if they are used first, they gain that ability. So it's going to be the same with Navaga. If initial, it deals 15 more damage. So that's a nice 85 damage card if you play it first in the sequence. Pretty decent. I think we'll see a lot more Navagas. The last aquatic card today is Shrimp. And it is now a 1 energy cost. It already was, sorry, but it is actually base 70 damage. So it's going to be a damage dealing card. And again, if initial, this attacks the target furthest, right? So retargeting, eat your heart out. Your Shrimpinators are still going to be Shrimpinators. And now for the final body type, Plant. I thought we might see some Mech cards and some Dawn cards and some Dust cards, but maybe another time, maybe they'll be introduced as we get hands on Origin. I think it is a bit of a big surprise to give away those cards now, because it reveals body parts that we don't yet know. So that would be interesting how that's handled. Let's finish things off though. Now the first Plant card is Carrot, a nice card where you can play it, get hit, break your shield, you get an energy. Right, it's really annoying when it's combined with Sirius's, pumpkins and cactuses, and then you just can't take the back line out and you're just praying, please just let me surrender. And yeah, sorry, I just explained an emotional trauma experience that I've had. Now Carrot is a 1 energy cost card. It has base 60 damage and its ability works like this. You will gain 1 energy if this attack causes HP loss to the target. So if you don't break the shield but you actually attack the HP of the Axie, you will gain an energy for that. So, you know, positioning and how you're playing the cards, the turn order of the cards you're playing is going to be important. Carrot is going to be a great way to utilize that to gain some energy. Keeps its consistency. You get your energy if you hit right. I like it. Welcome to the party, Carrot. Now the second card in the plant section is Cattail. Now Cattail was a 0 cost, not really a damage dealer. Its ability was so useful to draw cards, but today we can see, right, that we have a 1 energy cost on Cattail. It now has 50 base damage and it applies taunt to this Axie for 4 turns. Sorry, for 4 turns. Now again, we don't know a massive amount about taunt, but I would just believe that it's like almost like a Roma, and it draws in the attacks. Will this be useful? Potentially you'll have plants that have much more bulky sets and ability to heal, and then allies that can heal the plant as well might be more common in this format. So maybe Cattail will keep its viability, but who knows how useful taunt will be in Origins. It's a mystery. Like, we don't fucking know. But 50 damage is decent, 1 energy cost. I would have liked to kept the 0 cost element to it, but again, taunt might be a very, very useful ability. So this might still be top tier. Might still be top tier shit. We don't know. Now the third plant card is the Hatsune itself. The leak that we are getting right now is not this leak. This is a different leak, and this leak does 60 shield and is actually a 1 energy cost. You actually get to target an ally. The next turn after this target is attacked, apply fear to the attacker for 4 turns. So this is actually going to be useful in combination with Cattail. I guess if you use Taunt to draw in an attack and then use Hatsune to select the Cattail as the ally, you're going to be able to apply fear because that is the Axie that's going to be attacked next turn. So maybe a nice double plant mix up that will happen right there. Now my favorite plant tail, the Yam, because I'm so toxic. I just like poison ticks, bro. They're just I like them. So what? Now Yam is actually a 0 energy cost card. It does 5 base damage, which is pretty, you know, I mean, it's just, they just put it there to put 5 on it. I literally think that's what they did. They said, yeah, I just put 5 on it. I can almost hear the song in the background. Right. Yam is staying true to its ability, though. It's going to be able to apply 2 poison, but it's actually applying 2 poison to all enemies. So if we think back to Gila and what we were reading back then, Yam and Gila are going to be perfectly synergized. I don't want to give you builds already, but that is a build. Take it, put it in a stew. It's pounded fucking Yam. That's what it is. Put 5 on it. Now, the 5th plant card that we have is Potato Leaf. A card that was decent enough, but rarely used, to be honest. Even with double Aqua being heavy meta, Potato Leaf just wasn't that great. They have to lead with the Aqua card. It's easily readable. And, you know, just a bit meh. Right, they've changed it. It's now a 1 energy cost. It still was a 1 energy cost before, but it's now 70 damage. Was it actually 70 before? It might have been 70 damage, you know. It really might have been 70 damage. But now it is 70 damage in Origins as well. But you gain the stealth ability, right? If there is at least 1 living ally. The stealth ability, I believe, is going to be not just for Aqua type moves. It's going to be as a whole. The Axie won't be attacked. You will bypass the Axie and go to the next nearest target, which could have some great utility. You could probably play around with a few type disadvantages with Potato Leaf. Things to think about, things to look at. It's going to be nice to build some decks around that, but stealth can be interesting. We don't yet know how it will work exactly, but just trying to think about it. It could be very, very useful. Now, the final card of the day is Hot Butt. We've lost the spicy surprise. It doesn't quite have the ring to it anymore, in my opinion. We have a 1 energy cost for the card itself. No damage, no shield, but the ability goes like this. You get to shuffle 3 burns into your opponent's discard pile. I believe the word burns, like, we don't know what the fuck that is. We'd never used that term in Axie before. This might be, you know, from the discard pile is where you draw cards from again, right? So once you've used cards, they go back into the deck and then you redraw cards. So if you're able to apply 3 burns into a pile that's going to be used for redrawing, eventually later on, are you going to be drawing a card that is not a card? You literally draw a chili and you can't do anything with the chili. And yeah, I guess that's the only logistical way I can think about shuffling 3 burns into the discard pile. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it is our last card of the day. I'm pretty fucking stoked. There's a lot of things going through my head right now. I've got a lot of stuff to plan and prepare for Axie Origins. You know, us at Novian, we've been doing a lot of big things recently, and I'm so grateful for the guys that are in the team, and being able to focus on esports and being more competitive as a guild as a whole. So this information is always invited. I'm going to be heavy on the leaks as they come out, so when we see more than just tail cards, you'll be seeing them too right here. Wow, with all of that, we have actually concluded the video. Thank you for coming through and taking a look at the sneak peeks with me. Tell me what you think about the new cards. Is there anything that you're looking to run? Something that you might want to go ahead and purchase, but you're not quite sure? I'm free to answer questions in the comment section as well, so don't be afraid to reach out. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. Like and subscribe the video. Fuck. Make sure you give a like to the video and go ahead and subscribe if you'd like to stay up to date with Axie and everything Novian. We've got a lot of stuff happening here at our guild, and we're looking to expand as Axie continues to grow. We love it here. This has been amazing to see the new Origin cards. I genuinely am so excited for Origins. It's going to be the catalyst that changes everything, in my opinion. Axie to the fucking moon. And, yo, have a blessed day. See ya. Peace.